I loved her for 8 long years. Forced by her family, she finally agreed to marry me. But the night before our engagement, her first love came back. When he asked if she loved me, her voice was icy cold, completely empty of feeling. No, how could I ever like a scheming boy like him? Crouching in the dark corner, shivering and numb, I finally gave up. Some hearts cannot be warmed. Let's call off the engagement. Liu Ruyan stared as I suddenly appeared, her body frozen. It felt like a mountain was crushing her chest, suffocating her. What did you say? Say that again, she rasped, her sorrowful eyes locked on me, unable to process my words. I stayed calm, casually adding, "Don't worry about your grandfather. I will convince him." Her first love initially smirked at my intrusion, but his smile vanished when he saw her face. Knowing her since childhood, he saw the warning signs, he noticed her pinky trembling, and his heart sank. She was actually anxious. In all their years, he had rarely seen her lose composure like this, except back when they were kids and she could not hide her emotions. Yet now, my words had thrown her into a panic. Clenching her fists, she ripped off her scarf just to breathe. "I will give you one last chance. Take back those words, and I will pretend I heard nothing. And you will still." I looked up, coldly cutting her off. "There is no need." Her eyes froze. I turned to her first love standing beside her. They looked perfect together, and I smiled coldly. "The one you love is back, so your atonement is over. I won't block your way. Have a happy life. Don't invite me to your wedding, I won't come." My heavy gaze was saying goodbye to my past. After a long silence, I smiled softly. "Sister Liu." Hearing that title after 5 years, her eyes went blank. "Congratulations on getting your wish." Saying this felt like shedding a massive, suffocating weight. My gaze cleared. But my words made her eyes flush red. She lunged, grabbing my wrist. "What wish? Lingfeng, what are you doing?" A dull ache throbbed in my wrist. Frowning, I pulled back. I said coldly, "Let go. You're too close, and his cologne on you makes me sick." Stunned, she released my wrist. I looked up. "You said it yourself. You don't want to marry me. You love Fang Yuan. The spot beside you belongs to him. Now that I've stepped aside, you got your wish. Why the long face? Be happy, this is what you've wanted." I turned to my friend. "Zhou Ye, let's go." Zhou Ye patted my shoulder. "Let's go." But as we turned, he paused, looking at the stunned Liu Ruyan. "We didn't stalk you. You threw such a huge party for Fang Yuan, every stray dog in town knows. Booking this whole hotel, lighting up the sky with fireworks, all while ignoring your fiancé. Your love is truly inspiring, Liu Ruyan." "Let's go, Zhou Ye. Don't ruin their date," I said quietly. We walked away, never looking back. Once we were gone, Fang Yuan saw her grim face and whispered, "Ruyan, go explain. I didn't know you were getting engaged. It's my fault for begging you here. The fireworks were my family's doing. If he wants to blame someone, tell him to blame me." He sounded miserable. Hearing this, Liu Ruyan's face hardened, her hesitation vanishing. She snorted. "He only acts out because I spoil him. Now he's threatening me? Why chase him?" Irritated, she gestured to Fang Yuan. "Get in, I'll take you home." She refused to believe I'd actually call it off. Recalling the diary she found years ago, she relaxed. "He loves me too much to leave." Meanwhile, I asked Zhou Ye to drive me back. He gasped, "You're going back?" "Of course. I'm packing my things and cutting her out of my life." My eyes were ice. We reached the gates after 11 p.m. Zhou Ye patted my shoulder. "Take care, brother, I'll pick you up tomorrow." As I stepped inside, the lights flashed on. Squinting, I saw Lu Tian on the couch. He was clearly waiting for someone me. Ignoring him, I walked straight toward my room. He jumped up, blocking my path. "Lin Feng, nothing to say?" My gaze was icy. "We have nothing to discuss." He gritted his teeth. "You are so thick-skinned. You know my sister hates. You know she loves Fang Yuan. Why stay and steal his place? Have some shame." I slowly looked up. "Lu Tian, this is between your sister and me. Stop meddling in our business. You are incredibly annoying, you know that." My bluntness stunned him. "How dare you?" I sneered. "I only tolerated you because of your sister." His face contorted with rage. His eyes turned red. "You're the useless beggar here. Living off my family. Save it," I mocked, cutting him off. "You've reminded me of that for years. I know, I've kept a tally, and I'll repay every cent. But you're a certified loser." Ignoring him, I went to my room. Staring at the massive wall-sized closet, my face was blank. I opened it, my heart freezing as I browsed. Before, they felt like gifts of love. Now, they just felt heavy. Liu Ruyan bought them, claiming she handpicked each piece. I thought she secretly cared. How naive. The happier I was then, the more pathetic I feel now. For 5 years, I was just Fang Yuan's stand-in. Even her calling his name in bed was real. Realizing she pictured him during our intimate moments made me sick. I slammed the door, packing away every trace. In the end, I filled one small suitcase. Pathetic. 8 years here, and this was all I owned. Leaving the bedroom, I went to my studio and opened the cabinet. A thick stack of papers slid out. Over 800 sketches of Liu Ruyan, showing every expression, each more detailed than the last. She was my first and most drawn muse. I could sketch her with my eyes closed. She was etched into my bones. Gritting my teeth, I grabbed scissors and shredded them. Destroying them took over an hour. Standing up, tears blurred my vision. I wiped them away and dug deep into the cabinet, finding an old notebook. It once held my unspoken teenage secrets. I don't know when she read it, but since she exposed me 5 years ago, I never opened it. Now, cold-eyed, I shredded every single page. My studio was littered with paper scraps, broken like my heart. Back in bed, I noticed a text from an unknown number. One look, and I knew who sent it. It was Fang Yuan. The text read, "Lin Feng, forgot to mention, Ruyan slept over last night. Bet she stays here tonight, too." Exactly as I got home. I had been too numb to notice it. Not that it mattered, she wasn't back. Having lost all hope, I pulled up our chat. Our last text was a photo of me in my suit, naively asking if it looked good. She never replied. I blocked her everywhere and opened my private account. She didn't use this app, so I vented there. Fearing exposure, I only called her Miss Liu. It was an archive of my one-sided love, a hopeless chase without response. Yet back then, those crumbs kept me happy. She drank heavily and had a weak stomach, so I learned to cook soothing meals. A single smile from her made it all worth it. Reading my ecstatic posts brought tears to my eyes. I was the ultimate simp, giving everything and getting nothing. How stupid I've been. Laughing through my tears, my hands shook. Began deleting them. 8 years and thousands of posts, every single one about her. Love is not a solo performance. I tried to warm her heart for 8 years, but failed. It wasn't that she was heartless, I was just the wrong guy. Fang Yuan got her love effortlessly. Hours passed until only one post remained. I spent a lifetime of luck just to meet you. Closing my eyes, I felt hollow. If I could turn back time, I would never meet her. I clicked delete, confirming without hesitation as dawn broke. Song Wanru was jolted awake by her phone. Hearing Liu Ruyan's voice, her sleepiness vanished. "Sister Liu, why call so early?" She yawned, sitting up. On the other line, her voice was tired and hoarse. "Bring me a change of clothes." She rattled off an address. Song Wanru froze. If she remembered correctly, that luxury apartment was not on her list. "Where is it? Hurry up." Liu Ruyan hung up right after saying that. Song Wanru could only drag himself up. Since they were of similar build, he grabbed an unopened set of clothes, got in his car, and drove to her address. Once there, he pressed the doorbell. The one who opened the door was Liu Ruyan. She was wearing a white bathrobe, as beautiful as ever but cold. The dark circles under her pale eyes were obvious, giving her a gloomy, irritable look. "Sister Liu, why do you look so exhausted?" "I pulled an all-nighter at the office the night before, and didn't sleep last night either." Song Wanru handed her the clothes, looking worried. "You can't do this. No matter how strong your body is." He suddenly stopped, staring past Liu Ruyan with a strange look. Standing behind her was Fang Yuan. He wasn't seeing things. But why was Sister Liu with him? A man and a woman spending the night alone. Song Wanru didn't dare say a word. "Wanru, I don't have any clothes Ruyan can wear here. I'm so sorry to make you run over so early. Come on in." Fang Yuan was dressed in soft loungewear, acting like the master of the house as he warmly invited Song Wanru in. Song Wanru stood stiffly at the door, subtly taking a step back, and said dryly, "No need, I'll just wait for Sister Liu out here." His mind was in a mess. Tomorrow was Sister Liu's engagement to me. Why was she with Fang Yuan? Had they rekindled their old flame? Thinking about my 8 years of devotion to Liu Ruyan, and then about that eyesore of a scene, a surge of resentment welled up inside Song Wanru. A few minutes later, Liu Ruyan came out in the new clothes. Song Wanru's suit was a bit tight on her. She adjusted her collar impatiently and told Song Wanru, "Follow me to the office." With that, she strode out. Song Wanru followed silently behind. Once they got into the elevator, he finally couldn't help but speak up. "Sister Liu, I don't think this is right. You and Lin Feng are about to get engaged. How can you still be tangled up with Fang Yuan? It breaks my heart for him." Compared to Fang Yuan, Song Wanru had known me longer and closer. By all accounts, he was taking my side. Hearing this, Liu Ruyan gave him a cold glance. "What nonsense are you thinking? Fang Yuan and I did nothing." Song Wanru didn't believe her, his face serious. "Sister Liu, I'm not a child. A man and a woman under one roof, you wearing a bathrobe at his place. And taking a shower, how could nothing have happened?" Liu Ruyan took a deep breath and tapped the back of his head. Didn't you see the wound on his forehead? Song Wanru froze, suddenly remembering that when Fang Yuan opened the door, his forehead was indeed wrapped in gauze. He had been too shocked to notice it. So you're changing because I drove him home last night. It was too dark, and he accidentally tripped and cut his head. I took him to the hospital and just got back. I showered at his place because my clothes were stained with blood. Liu Ruyan was a neat freak. There was no way she would wear blood-stained clothes. Asking Song Wanru to bring her clothes instead of her own family was her way of avoiding unnecessary gossip and trouble. Song Wanru felt relieved. Just then, the elevator doors opened and they stepped out. Song Wanru continued, Sister Liu, I know nothing happened, but Lin Feng doesn't. You made such a big fuss celebrating Fang Yuan's birthday yesterday and didn't come home last night. He's bound to overthink. Have you explained things to him? Hearing this, Liu Ruyan froze in her tracks. Ever since our bitter argument last night, she had been subconsciously avoiding the issue. She didn't even have the courage to go back to the Liu family home, let alone contact me, terrified that she would hear the words she dreaded most, like calling off the engagement. Let's go to the office first. I'll explain to him when I get home. Tomorrow was the engagement. Although the old man had arranged it and she claimed she had no intention of marrying me, deep down, she didn't actually oppose it. It was far better than marrying a stranger. For business. Convincing herself, Liu Ruyan turned to Song Wanru. By the way, pick up the dress grandfather ordered for us later. I didn't go try it on yesterday, and he seemed unhappy. It doesn't really matter anyway. Grandfather had it tailored to our exact measurements, so it will fit. Liu Ruyan hadn't taken my words yesterday seriously at all. She thought I was just throwing a childish tantrum. After all, I had been by her side for 8 years. Where else would I go? As they approached the car, she suddenly turned to Song Wanru. Even you know about me celebrating Fang Yuan's birthday? Seeing her cluelessness, Song Wanru was speechless. Sister Liu, how could I not? It's all over our social circle. Everyone's saying you and Fang Yuan rekindled your romance, and they're betting tomorrow's engagement will be cancelled. What's more, this rumor was confirmed by Liu Tian. Almost everyone believes it. Liu Ruyan's gaze instantly turned ice cold. Tell them the engagement will never be cancelled. Absolutely not. Back at the Liu residence, I hadn't slept a wink all night, but I felt incredibly energized instead of exhausted. After washing up, I dressed myself impeccably. Since I was leaving, I had to walk out with dignity, not like some beaten dog. As soon as I finished packing, Zhou Ye called. Xiaofeng, I'm waiting outside the Liu house. Hurry up and come out. I picked up my bag and walked out. On my way, I ran into Liu Ruyan's mother. I gave her a cold glance and didn't even bother to greet her. Now that I was resolved to leave her daughter, I had zero desire to tolerate her sheer hypocrisy. She froze in disbelief at being ignored. The moment I walked past her, she snapped out of her daze and shrieked furiously. How dare you? We aren't even engaged yet, and you're already ignoring your elders? What will you do after the wedding? I heard her screaming from a distance, my expression blank as I walked toward the gate without looking back. Zhou Yi's car was waiting right outside. The moment I got in, he pulled me closer to inspect me from head to toe. Finally, a satisfied smile spread across his face. You look great. Of course. Yesterday, I threw away every single memory of Liu Ruyan, casting aside all my old baggage. I felt infinitely lighter. Hearing this, a relieved smile lit up Zhou Ye's bright face. He immediately started the engine. Buckle up, Xiaofeng. I'm taking you to Elder Liu. With that, the car shot away from the Liu estate like an arrow. When I arrived at the sanatorium, Elder Liu had already finished breakfast and was basking in the sun on the lawn. It had snowed yesterday, but luckily, the morning sun was wonderfully warm. He was leaning back in his chair with his eyes closed, opening them at the sound of my footsteps. Seeing me, the old man's stern face softened into a warm smile. Xiaofeng, what brings you here today? I'm heading back tomorrow anyway. It's freezing out. You'll catch a cold running around like this. Hearing his warm words, a wave of comfort washed over me. In the entire Liu family, he was the only one who truly cared about me. I sat down beside him, offering a polite, obedient smile. After a brief hesitation, I said softly, Grandfather, you don't need to head back tomorrow. He reached out, gently patting my head with affectionate eyes. Silly child, tomorrow is your engagement to Ruyan. I have to be there no matter what. He paused mid-sentence as the realization hit him. I nodded quietly and looked up at him earnestly. Grandfather, I've made up my mind. Let's call off the engagement. His eyes widened in shock. Xiaofeng, do you know what you're saying? Haven't you always wanted to be with Ruyan? Once you're engaged, you can stand proudly by her side. No one will ever dare mistreat you. If that Fang Yuan tries anything, he'll be a homewrecker, and no one will respect him. There's no need anymore, I replied quietly, taking his arm. My eyes were filled with gratitude. I know you want the best for me, grandfather, but forced love never lasts. Sister Liu doesn't care for me. She loves Fang Yuan. I thought I had let it go, but, looking at the kind old man before me, a pang of bitterness still hit me. Grandfather, she already dislikes me so much. I don't want to make her hate me even more. Nor do I want her to resent you because of this engagement. Looking at me, the old man let out a heavy sigh. Ruyan was very close to her father, so she's bound to be stubborn. In time, she will realize the truth. Grandfather, it's been 5 years, I interrupted. 5 years is a long time, yet I still haven't earned her trust. Have you heard this saying? Once suspicion takes root, the verdict is already decided. The moment she first doubted me, I should have stopped expecting her to ever believe me. I was just stubborn, gambling on our 3 years together, only to lose everything. Seeing the resolve in my eyes, Elder Liu knew there was no going back. He sighed deeply. Since you've made up your mind, I'll have someone announce the news later and inform Ruyan. Seeing him agree, my eyes crinkled and a genuine smile finally broke out on my face. Thank you, grandfather. The old man patted my head. He had watched me grow up. I was respectful, caring, and filial. In his heart, I held a higher place than his own grandson, Liu Tian. He had truly hoped I would become his grandson-in-law, but things didn't work out. Xiaofeng, I'm old now. I can't keep a tight leash on Ruyan anymore. His voice carried a trace of age and self-reproach. I thought forcing her with company shares would make her marry you and treat you well. I quickly shook my head. I don't blame you, grandfather. It's just not meant to be. Yet, the frown on his face didn't fade. If only that incident 5 years ago hadn't happened, things would never have ended up like this between you two. My first 3 years with Elias were the happiest of her life. She was usually cold and emotionless, yet she treated me so well. Grandfather believed she must have loved me. Xiaofeng, I will uncover the truth about what happened 5 years ago. I'll clear your name. I smiled and nodded. Thank you, grandfather. Then I hesitated, lowering my voice. Actually, there's one more thing I need to ask you. What is it? He looked at me, puzzled. I took a deep breath and asked cautiously. Back then, was it you who told Ruyan to bring me back from the Lin family? Did you know my grandmother? Elder Liu froze. After a long silence, he nodded solemnly. Yes. My heart instantly sank. Honestly, when Fang Yuan first brought this up, I was skeptical. Fang Yuan wanted to be with Ruyan, and since I stood in his way, his words could easily have been an attempt to drive us apart. I had held on to a shred of hope, but it turned out to be true. Grandfather looked up at the sky, eyes full of nostalgia. I met your grandmother in school. We were each other's first loves, but parted due to circumstances. Later, I heard she married, and I followed my family's wishes to marry someone else. Years flew by, and we never met again. By chance, I found out about your existence, and that you were being abused by the Lins. Since my past with your grandmother was hard to explain to others, I had Ruyan step in to bring you back. Later, thinking she liked me, and knowing my situation, he stubbornly arranged our engagement. He and my grandmother never made it work. A lifelong regret he hoped his granddaughter could make up for by being with me. Sadly, we still ended up like this. My eyelids trembled as I asked shakily. Did you tell her that if she brought me back, she'd get access to the company's core business? Did he tell you that? Elder Liu asked in shock. I smiled quietly, tears streaming down my face. Now, even my last shred of hope was gone. Seeing me like this, he quickly tried to explain. Ruyan has always been stubborn. She was young back then and going through a rebellious phase. Even though she was forced to bring you back, her kindness to you during those 3 years was genuine. I know. I wiped away my tears and stood up to look at him. I was grateful to him for rescuing me from Linzhen, and I had spent 5 years repaying that debt. So, grandfather, I don't owe Liu Ruyan anything anymore, right? Grandpa Liu opened his mouth, his voice raspy. Xiaofeng, you never owed her a thing. We owe you. I shook my head. All these years with Elias, I had food, didn't get beaten, and could even study painting. My life was actually very happy. Grandpa's eyes welled up with tears. How miserable must my past have been for me to think that basic survival was a luxury. I finished speaking and saw Zhou Ye waving from a distance. I squatted down and gently tucked the blanket over Grandpa's knees. Grandpa, I have to go now. I need to head back and pack my things. I'm leaving. Leaving? Grandpa panicked instantly. Where are you going? Back to the Lins? You can't. Lin Sen is a monster. If you go back, they'll hurt you again. Speaking rapidly, he waved over his caregiver, Uncle Liu. Xiaofeng, I transferred some properties to your name. If you don't want to stay with Elias, move there. Just don't go back to the Lins. He urged Uncle Liu to get the keys, but I quickly stopped him. I was so overwhelmed, I didn't even know what to say. Grandpa truly cared for me like his own blood. A wave of warmth filled my frozen heart. Grandpa, don't go to all that trouble. I haven't told you yet. but I got accepted into the Florence Academy of Fine Arts. I leave in a few days, and I'll be gone for several years. Hearing this, Grandpa looked incredibly proud but also sad to see me go. That was a top 3 art school in the world. He knew my talent. Years ago, I got a full scholarship to the city's best academy, and became the final disciple of the legendary national art master, Zhang Yongxin. If the Lin family hadn't held me back for so long, I could have soared even higher. Good. I expect nothing less from my Xiaofeng. I am so proud of you, Grandpa said warmly. Go study hard. I'll stay healthy and wait for your return. My eyes softened. While I'm gone, you must listen to your doctors. No drinking, okay? I'm telling Uncle Liu to watch you. I kept nagging him, and Grandpa just smiled. In his old age, my fussing actually made him happy. Though Liu Ruyan respected him, she was never this close. She never knew how to show warmth. As for the rest of the family, they only cared about themselves. I was the only one who genuinely looked after him, which was why he loved me so much. Grandpa, when I return, maybe I'll bring home someone who truly loves me. I'll bring them to see you then. After I left, Grandpa's warm smile faded into a cold glare. He looked at Uncle Liu. Old Liu, go with Xiaofeng. Make sure he takes whatever he wants, and don't let anyone bully him. Uncle Liu nodded and walked toward the exit. Grandpa looked up at the gray, sunless sky, and sighed deeply. He knew my heart was completely shattered, and that I was truly done with Ruyan. He only hoped she wouldn't regret this later. When I arrived back at the Liu house, I saw a scene waiting for me. Workers were waiting at the gate next to a massive yellow excavator. Zhou Yi raised an eyebrow. They're ready. Shall we begin? I nodded and led them inside. Hearing the noise, Liu Tian rushed out. Seeing the excavator, his face turned pale green with fury. He screamed, Lin Feng, what the hell is this? Bringing these trash into our yard. Do you really think you're still marrying my sister? But before he could finish, he saw Uncle Liu behind me. His voice died instantly, sounding like a choked duck. Uncle Liu. Having served Grandpa for decades, Uncle Liu held massive respect in this house. Even Liu Tian didn't dare cross him. Forcing a fake smile, Liu Tian stammered, Uncle Liu, what are you doing back? Aren't you supposed to be with Grandpa? Uncle Liu looked up, his eyes icy. No one in this family is to interfere with Master Lin Feng's business. Go inside if you're free. Liu Tian's eyes nearly bulged out of his head. He pointed at the massive machine next to me. Even if he wants to bulldoze the house, we can't stop him? Uncle Liu's expression didn't even shift. No matter what he does, you do not stop him. Liu Tian stood frozen, his eyes burning with intense jealousy. He was probably wondering who the real grandson was. I ignored his tantrums. I had no interest in destroying their house. Without sparing Liu Tian a glance, I led the workers under my bedroom window. Years ago, during my second year here, I planted a garden of red roses. I had nurtured them carefully. Every spring, they bloomed beautifully, filling the yard with life and a rich fragrance. Some call roses cliché, but to me, nothing blooms with such fierce passion. During my miserable, colorless years with the Lin family, I had never seen anything so bright. I have never cared for soft, pale shades. I have always craved bold, intense, and vibrant colors. I am drawn to heavy brushstrokes and raw energy like oil paintings in roses. I could leave the designer clothes and even give Liu Ruyan back to Fang Yuan. But not my roses. I refused to let those two stand by my old window, cuddling while looking at my flowers. The mere thought made my blood run cold. Pointing at the bare rose bushes, I instructed the workers, dig every single one of them up. We are taking them with us. I would return what belonged to Fang Yuan, but I wouldn't leave a single trace of myself behind. Zhou Yi warned the workers, easy now, don't damage the roots. Since I had nurtured them so well, Zhou Yi planned to replant them all in his family garden. That way, when I returned to the country, I could still enjoy my beautiful, passionate roses. Meanwhile, Liu Tian watched us with absolute shock, which quickly turned into pure glee. Seeing me dig up my beloved roses, he realized I was finally leaving for good. With trembling fingers, he snapped a photo and messaged Fang Yuan right away, completely thrilled to see me pack my bags. Brother Fang, Lin Feng is packing his bags. Come watch the show. Receiving that text, Fang Yuan's fake, polite mask cracked, revealing a twisted look of pure joy. With me finally out of the picture, Ruyan's side was clear. He stood up immediately, eager to take my place. Before heading out, his eyes landed on some clothes on the sofa. It was the outfit Ruyan had changed out of that morning. Smirking, he picked up her jacket and pants, planning to use them. Meanwhile, my yard was a chaotic mess as Uncle Liu watched over the workers. The excavator roared, quickly ripping my roses out by their roots. Deep, muddy craters were left behind, turning the neat garden into a complete disaster zone. By then, Zhou Yi and I had loaded up the luggage I packed last night. I walked over to Uncle Liu. I am leaving now. Please take care of Grandpa. I pulled out a bank card I had prepared and handed it to him. This is my savings from the past few years. Give it to Ruyan and tell her we are officially even. Nearby, Liu Tian was pacing the gate. Hearing this, he lunged forward, trying to snatch the card right out of my hand. I easily dodged his clumsy attempt and glared at him. Liu Tian, now you are resorting to stealing? Have some shame. He sneered, his eyes locked onto the card in my hand. That money belongs to my family. Don't play dumb. Grandpa and my sister gave you a fortune over the years. How can you prove those savings are yours? Paying us back with our own cash is incredibly shameless, Lin Feng. I wanted to laugh at his stupidity. Before I could even speak, Uncle Liu pulled out a stack of cards. All the credit cards Grandpa and the young mistress gave Master Lin Feng are right here, untouched. You can verify them yourself. Liu Tian froze, speechless. I smirked. Nothing left to say? Liu Tian, I told you, we are not the same. You are just a spoiled parasite. Red with embarrassment, he opened his mouth to scream insults at me. My gaze turned icy, and I cut him off before he could utter a single word. When I felt I owed your family, I tolerated your mouth. Now, we are even. Keep acting up, and I will personally slap you. Try me if you think I am bluffing. The raw fury in my eyes was real, and Liu Tian actually took a step back in fear. He looked terrified, completely intimidated by my presence. His mother was out, and with Uncle Liu backing me up, none of the servants dared to help him. Realizing he was entirely alone, he panicked. But then, a figure appeared at the gate, and his eyes lit up. Fang Yuan. Brother Fang, you are here. My expression darkened, and I looked toward the gate. Zhou Yi frowned, asking, what is that guy doing here? What do you think? He came to gloat, I sneered. My gaze quickly locked onto the clothes in his hands. I recognized them instantly. It was the jacket Ruyan wore yesterday. Disgusted, I looked away and turned to Zhou Ye. Let's get out of here. I had zero interest in Fang Yuan's petty attempts to show off. But as we walked past, he slowly shook out the jacket, making sure I saw it. Oh, Liu Tian. Your sister left her jacket at my place last night, Fang Yuan said loudly. Liu Tian instantly caught on to the petty game. No wonder she didn't come home. She was with you. After losing you for 5 years, she never wants to leave your side. She wants to be with you every single day. Fang Yuan smirked, pretending to look bashful. Quiet, Liu Tian. Xiaofeng is right there. He is still her fiancé. Fiancé? He is being kicked out as we speak. You are the only brother-in-law I will ever recognize. The two of them kept playing this pathetic game. Fang Yuan was absolutely disgusting, pretending to be humble while gloating with every smug look. Zhou Ye finally snapped. He stopped in his tracks, glared at the duo, and asked me, Xiaofeng, why do some people enjoy trash? Picking up garbage that others threw away? I smirked. Who knows, maybe some people just love second-hand things. Fang Yuan froze, his smug expression cracking as his eyes welled up with fake tears. Lin Feng, don't be bitter. 5 years ago, before my accident, Ruyan was my girlfriend. We never broke up. You were the one who stole her from me. I was with her first. I took a deep breath, my eyes turning cold. Fang Yuan, if you want to dig up the past, let's get the facts straight. When you disappeared, you were legally declared dead. Even for married couples, a death certificate dissolves the union. You two were only dating. So the moment you were pronounced dead, whatever relationship you had with her was legally over. There was nothing left to salvage. Meanwhile, my engagement to Ruyan was arranged by our families, making it fully legitimate. You knew we were getting engaged tomorrow, yet you still slept with her. So, tell me, who is the real homewrecker here? My sharp words left him utterly speechless. Fang Yuan stared at me, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. He couldn't say a word. His face darkened. He realized I wasn't that fragile, timid boy anymore. I stood tall, confident and sharp-tongued. Since he couldn't find his voice, I let out a soft laugh. But since you two are so deeply in love, I won't play the villain. You want her? Take her. I am giving her back to you. Now that you have what you wanted, stay out of my way. I glanced down at the pile of clothes in his arms. Fang Yuan clutched them tighter. I smiled mockingly. Are those bloodstains from your head wound? Ruyan is a total clean freak. To her, those clothes are literal trash. Yet, here you are, proudly cradling garbage just to brag. It is pathetic, honestly. Fang Yuan's face burned bright red with sheer embarrassment. Behind us, Uncle Liu quietly smiled and stepped back. He knew Grandpa didn't have to worry about me anymore. Nobody could bully me now. I gave them one last look, turned around, and walked away with Zhou Ye. Fang Yuan spotted the watch on my wrist. His eyes narrowed, and he grabbed my arm. Annoyed, I glared at him. Anything else, Mr. Fang? He smiled, his face returning to normal. Since you've decided to cut ties with Ruyan, you shouldn't take anything of hers. My brow furrowed. I only took my own things. I didn't touch hers. Not necessarily, Fang Yuan sneered, pointing at my wrist. This is hers. You can't take it. I froze, looking where he pointed. I'd almost forgotten about it. Shaking him off, I unbuckled the expensive men's watch from my wrist with mixed emotions. Everyone stared at the watch, especially Uncle Liu. It was incredibly special, originally a gift from Ruyan's father for her 18th birthday. She gave it to me years ago when I was struggling and depressed. I cherished this watch, barely taking it off except for servicing. Last night, when packing, I somehow selectively forgot about it. Maybe my subconscious wanted to keep a tiny piece of the past. But unfortunately, Fang Yuan exposed my secret. I looked at the watch and touched it gently. Thanks for the reminder, Mr. Fang. I almost forgot. Under his eager gaze, I handed it to Uncle Liu. Please return this to Ruyan. Uncle Liu frowned. Leaving this watch behind proved I had absolutely no feelings left for Ruyan. Realizing this, Fang Yuan and Lu Tian relaxed and stopped bothering me. They just wanted me gone. I took my suitcase and walked out. Before getting in the car, I cast one last look at my home of 8 years. Then, leaving the past behind, I drove off with Zhouye. After I left, they stared at the watch. It meant the world to Ruyan. When she gave it to me, Lu Tian and Fang Yuan were sick with jealousy. Back then, nobody touched her things. Now, in the silent courtyard, Lu Tian suddenly reached out. He snatched the watch right out of Uncle Lu's hand. Uncle Lu's face darkened. Lu Tian had zero manners, spoiled rotten by his petty mother. He'd definitely have to mention this to the old master later. Lu Tian ignored Uncle Lu's glare, stuffing the watch into Fang Yuan's hand. Put it on. You're my brother-in-law now. Only you deserve her things. Fang Yuan was thrilled, fake refusing while letting him slip it on. Uncle Lu raised an eyebrow, not stopping them. It was just as Xiao Feng had said. Fang Yuan loved picking up discarded scraps. Watching them walk inside, Uncle Lu pulled out his phone and called the old master. Seeing the caller ID, the old master asked, "Did Xiao Feng leave?" "Yes, he left a bank card covering all his living expenses for the last 8 years. The old master sighed heavily. How disappointed he must be. To cut ties so cleanly. He even left Miss Ruyan's watch. The old master sat in silence for a long time, looking exhausted. Old Lu, tell me. Should I have never interfered in their lives? Uncle Lu stayed silent. The old master sighed again, his tone turning cold. Old Liu, erase Xiao Feng's tracks. If he doesn't want to be found, make sure Ruyan never locates him. At the office, Ruyan had been uneasy all morning. She'd been staring at the same document for 10 minutes, unable to focus. This had never happened before. Frustrated, she slammed her pen onto the desk, her beautiful face tight with exhaustion. Just then, Song Wanru walked in with some files. Sister Lu, are you okay? Maybe take a break. Ruyan rubbed her temples, looking at the folders. Give them to me. Wanru quickly handed them over. Ruyan took the files into the lounge. When she emerged, she still looked off. Wanru circled her, teasing, Sister Lu, you look gorgeous. Xiao Feng wouldn't be able to take his eyes off you. Ruyan cleared her throat, acting annoyed. Stop talking nonsense. Wanru rolled her eyes. Ruyan's stubborn Sunder attitude was going to backfire on her eventually. Ruyan opened our chat on her phone. Preparing to text, she saw the message I'd sent yesterday, a photo of me looking sharp in a black suit. Her face warmed as she saved it. Seeing my message, asking if I looked good, she hesitated before replying with, not bad. But the moment it sent, her face went rigid. Seeing her sudden look of shock, Wanru asked, what's wrong? Ruyan looked up with a blank stare. Lin Feng, he blocked me. What? Wanru gasped. It was impossible. Everyone knew how much I adored Ruyan and put up with her. There was no way I'd block her. But then, she saw the screen and went silent. He really did it. Face dark, Ruyan immediately dialed my number, but the call wouldn't go through. Seeing her reaction, Wanru whispered in disbelief. Did he block your calls too? Ruyan bit her lip. Silence was her answer. Suddenly, the PR manager burst in. President Liu, the old master ordered us to announce that your engagement is off. The announcement says you both have no further relation. Ruyan's eyes flashed like ice. Say that again. Her voice was so cold a chill swept the room. The manager trembled, whispering, President Liu, we had to obey the old master. It's already been posted. Wanru asked in a panic, and the manager nodded. Yes, it's out. It's probably trending everywhere by now. Crash. Ruyan swept everything off her desk. Papers flew everywhere. The manager cowered, terrified. Song Wanru rushed forward. Sister Lu, call the old master. The only one who could make him do this is Xiao Feng. He must have misunderstood last night. Explain it to him. Ruyan froze. She remembered my words from yesterday about convincing his grandfather to cancel the wedding. She thought I was just being dramatic. She never imagined I was serious. A paper cut on her hand burned, the sting radiating straight to her chest. She reached for her phone with trembling hands, but the old master called first. Grandpa. Her voice was thick, her eyes turning red. The old master spoke. Ruyan, you always hated this engagement with Xiao Feng. Now you have your wish. It's over. He won't bother you again. Aren't you happy? Ruyan felt lost. She was supposed to hate my love. She'd humiliated and hurt me just to push me away. Now she was finally free of me. But why wasn't she happy? Why did she feel so empty? Gripping the desk to fight the ache in her chest, she forced herself to sound stubborn. Yes, I'm happy. But Grandpa, you promised me full control of the company once I married Lin Feng. I can still marry him, don't bother. The old master knew her too well. She was stubborn to a fault, probably not even realizing her voice was trembling. Before, Xiao Feng loved you, so I used the shares to force you together. But you are my heir, those shares would be yours anyway. The old master paused, his voice heavy. But today, Xiao Feng told me he doesn't love you, he wants out. So I won't force you. Ruyan, I'm giving you the shares and your freedom. You and Xiao Feng are officially over. His marriage, his future, his life or death, none of it concerns you. Ruyan reeled, a sickening ache tearing through her chest. For years, I was the constant in her life. She'd treated me horribly, yet assumed I'd always be there. She never thought I'd actually leave. The thought of us as strangers, me holding another woman, building a life and family with someone else, made her blood run cold with panic. She took a ragged breath, her face pale. Grandpa, you set up the wedding, and now you cancel it on your own. Do you even care about my feelings? The old master fell silent. I apologize. But Ruyan, Xiao Feng has suffered enough. He wanted nothing but you. I know you're still bitter about 5 years ago. But Ruyan, if Xiao Feng was actually framed, the hurt you caused him these past 5 years is beyond forgiveness. Ruyan froze. Framed? Impossible. Every bit of evidence pointed to me. She'd investigated back then, checking the cameras, only I was in the kitchen. There was literally no one else. Hearing her stubborn tone, the old master sighed. I've said enough. Good luck. He hung up. Sister Liu, are you okay? Wanru's voice snapped her back. You look incredibly pale. That was putting it gently. Ruyan's eyes were bloodshot, her face so pale she looked almost lifeless. Saying nothing, she stumbled toward the door. Wanru, deeply concerned, rushed to follow. Ruyan was in no condition to drive, so Wanru took the keys. Where to? The Liu estate. Ruyan needed to confront me, to tell me to stop acting out so we could fix this. She still intended to marry me. Dodging rush hour, they reached the estate quickly. Before the car fully stopped, Ruyan bolted inside, immediately sensing the heavy, strange tension from the servants. They looked away, whispering. Then she saw the garden. The rose bushes I planted were gone, replaced by messy, empty dirt holes. Her face fell. The roses. Who dug them up? I ordered you to protect them. Aren't these flowers supposed to be completely untouched? She roared, her face twisted in rage. She looked absolutely terrifying. A nearby maid jumped in fear, stammering. No, we didn't dig them up. It was Master Xiaofeng. He brought people to do it. Xiaofeng. How is that possible? He treasures these flowers the most. Where is he? Liu Ruyan demanded, storming inside. The maid whispered. Master Xiaofeng packed his bags and left. He's been gone for over 2 hours. Liu Ruyan froze in her tracks, while Song Wanru's expression behind her blanked out. What nonsense are you talking about? How could Xiao Feng leave the Liu family? Before Liu Ruyan could speak, Song Wanru blurted out in disbelief. Shaken by their intense stares, the maid nervously replied. Mr. Zhou came and picked up Master Xiaofeng. He took his suitcases and everything. He even took those jade rings with him. Liu Ruyan's face turned icy cold. She reached for her phone, only to remember Lin Feng had blocked her. Gritting her teeth, she snapped at Song Wanru. Use your phone to call Lin Feng. Now. Alright, Song Wanru replied, quickly dialing his number. Suddenly, a ringtone chimed nearby. Liu Ruyan and Song Wanru both looked up toward the sound and saw Uncle Liu standing not far away. The ringing was coming directly from him. Uncle Liu, what are you doing here? Uncle Liu was always by the old master's side. Had the old man returned home? Reading Liu Ruyan's mind, Uncle Liu explained. The old master is still at the sanatorium. He sent me here to help Mr. Lin Feng pack. With that, Uncle Liu pulled out all the items Lin Feng had left behind and handed them to her. When Mr. Lin Feng left, he only took his personal belongings. Even the gifts from the old master, Mr. Lin Feng left them all behind. Liu Ruyan glanced down and saw her supplementary card sitting right on top. Staring at her grim face, Uncle Liu pulled out another bank card. Miss, this card holds the earnings from Mr. Lin Feng's paintings over the years. He asked me to tell you that this money is to pay for his living expenses during his 8 years with the Liu family. From now on, he owes you nothing. Her pupils shrank, and her body tensed as she stared. Owes nothing? She let out a cold, bitter laugh. Owes nothing? What right did he have to say that? Could 8 years of history really be wiped clean with a single bank card? Lin Feng had even left his lighter behind. He was dead set on cutting all ties. She never expected such ruthlessness from him. When a gentleman decided to be cruel, he was truly heartless. Ruyan, you're back, a cheerful voice called out. Song Wanru's eyelids twitched. Looking up, she saw Fang Yuan walking over with a beaming smile. She rolled her eyes. Xiao Feng had just left. And here he was, looking absolutely thrilled. His ambition was written all over his face. Isn't it work hours? Why are you home so suddenly? Fang Yuan asked curiously. Lu Tian smirked at him suggestively. Why else? My sister must have known you were coming, so she couldn't focus on work. Annoyed and consumed with thoughts of Lin Feng, Liu Ruyan had no desire to talk to them. She was about to leave with Song Wanru when her eyes caught something on Fang Yuan's wrist. It was the watch she had gifted to Lin Feng. Why was it on Fang Yuan's wrist? Liu Ruyan marched toward him, radiating an icy, forbidding aura. Fang Yuan watched her approach, a bright smile on his face. But just as he opened his mouth to speak, a sharp pain shot through his wrist. He shrieked as tears welled in his eyes. When he realized what happened, he saw Liu Ruyan had violently ripped the watch off his wrist, breaking the strap. Why do you have Xiaofeng's watch? Her voice was raspy, her eyes bloodshot and terrifyingly fierce. Shivers ran up Fang Yuan's spine, and cold sweat drenched his back. He stood there, completely lost for words and panicking. Right then, Uncle Lu spoke up quietly. When Mr. Lin Feng was leaving, Mr. Fang forced him to take off the watch and leave it behind. Originally, Master Xiaofeng wanted me to hand it to you personally. But it was snatched away, and put onto Mr. Fang's wrist instead. Mr. Fang was thrilled and didn't refuse. Uncle Lu's expressionless words dealt a devastating blow, completely shutting down any excuses. Lu Tian glared at Uncle Lu with a twisted, hateful look. No wonder Uncle Lu hadn't stopped him when he grabbed the watch. He was waiting to pull this move. Liu Ruyan remained silent, tightly pursing her lips as she stared coldly at Fang Yuan and Lu Tian, making both shiver. Lu Tian was the first to crack. Turning pale, he stammered, "Sister, it's not our fault. Lin Feng said so himself, he only took his own things. He wanted to clear the slate with you. This watch was your gift to him, so it's not his own property anyway. So of course, it should be left behind." Fang Yuan grew frantic hearing this. Was Lu Tian an idiot? Couldn't he see how angry Liu Ruyan was? He was just adding fuel to the fire. Fang Yuan quickly stammered, "Ruyan, I didn't expect Xiaofeng to be so petty. I only mentioned it casually, and he just took the watch right off." Fang Yuan, Liu Ruyan interrupted him coldly, her eyes flashing with anger. "What right do you have to interfere in things between Xiaofeng and me? Since when did you become so talkative and meddlesome?" The moment she said this, Fang Yuan froze, utterly embarrassed. He never expected Liu Ruyan to humiliate him in public like this. Feeling the weight of everyone's gazes, he wished he could sink into the floor. Lu Tian was stunned too, and immediately spoke up to defend him. "Sister, given brother Fang Yuan's relationship with you, I don't see anything wrong with what he did." Fang Yuan tensed, realizing what Lu Tian was about to say. He quickly tried to stop him. "Liu Tian, stop it. It's my fault, don't argue with your sister." But Lu Tian was already too fed up with Liu Ruyan defending Lin Feng. Furious, he blurted out recklessly, "Lin Feng is the one who seduced you while brother Fang Yuan was away. He's just a homewrecker. It's bad enough he lived off us for free, but he actually wanted to be the Liu family's son-in-law? He doesn't deserve it." Fang Yuan's face drained of color. The next second, a loud smack echoed as Liu Ruyan slapped Lu Tian across the face, cutting him off instantly. Lu Tian stared at her in utter disbelief, his left cheek burning with pain as his eyes filled with tears. "You slapped me? Liu Ruyan, you actually slapped me. You're my own sister, yet you hit me over that scumbag Lin Feng?" Her face was grim as she stared back coldly. "Lu Tian, let me ask you, is this how you talk about Xiaofeng when I'm not around? Calling him a parasite and a loser?" Since Lu Tian could spew such vile words so naturally, it was clear he did it all the time. Though he wanted to throw a tantrum, the question made him instantly guilty. He shrank back behind Fang Yuan, his silence confirming everything. Liu Ruyan's dark eyes swept coldly toward Fang Yuan. "Have you always been misleading Lu Tian like this? Did you never tell him the truth about our relationship?" Fang Yuan stood frozen, not daring to meet her gaze. His fingers trembled from sheer panic and guilt. Seeing his silence, Liu Ruyan spoke for him. "When Fang Yuan and I got together back then, it wasn't out of love. It was purely a contractual agreement. And before my father's accident, we had already broken up." Gasps rippled through the courtyard. Even Song Wanru and Uncle Lu were stunned. This secret had been kept so well that nobody but the two of them knew. Lu Tian stood frozen, staring blankly at Fang Yuan. No wonder he had never seen any normal couple interaction between his sister and Fang Yuan. Walking side by side was the most they ever did. Holding hands, hugging, or kissing had never happened. Liu Tian had always assumed his sister was just cold and Fang Yuan was shy, never imagining this was the real reason. So listen to me carefully, Liu Tian. Lin Feng was never a third party, and Fang Yuan and I were never in a real relationship. Squeezing the watch tightly in her hand, she turned cold. Song Wanru, let's go. To the Zhou family. Only Lin Feng gets to wear this watch. Only him. Seeing her leave, Uncle Liu also hurried away from the villa to report this massive news to the old master. Meanwhile, Liu Tian, finally learning the truth, turned to Fang Yuan in a fit of rage and embarrassment. Fang Yuan, why did you never tell me this? If he had known, he wouldn't have been stupid enough to say those things in front of his sister and get slapped. His cheek was still burning with pain. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan stood frozen, watching Liu Ruyan disappear. His heart sank deep into his chest. She was going to the Zhou family to bring Lin Feng back. No, that couldn't happen. Lin Feng had finally been kicked out. He must never return. As long as he stayed away, with the support of Liu Tian and his mother, Fang Yuan could easily become the family's son-in-law. A dark glint flashed in Fang Yuan's eyes. Hearing Liu Tian's whining, he closed his eyes, letting his pale face make him look vulnerable and pitiful. Seeing this, Liu Tian fell silent, unable to keep complaining. Liu Tian, Fang Yuan said, his voice cracking as he looked at him with red eyes. Ruyan never used to speak to me like that. I guess even the strongest feelings fade over time. He offered a sad smile. I was away for 5 years. Lin Feng won her heart and everything else. Everyone has changed. Ruyan, and Lin Feng too. He's no longer the pitiful kid from 5 years ago. He is successful and handsome now, no wonder he caught Ruyan's eye. Fang Yuan let out a deep sigh. And it's not just Ruyan. Even Xiao Chuchu has been drawn to him. She defended him so fiercely that night. It seems both of us lost. Every word hit Liu Tian's sore spots, instantly reigniting his rage. His sister, and Xiao Chuchu, the two most important women in his life, had both been snatched away by Lin Feng. Seeing his distorted, furious face, Fang Yuan secretly smirked. Your sister is on her way to get him back. Trust me, once he's back, she'll pamper him even more out of guilt. It doesn't matter to me, but you'll have to live under the same roof with him. You'll constantly have to stay out of his way. Liu Tian shuddered. The thought of being overshadowed by Lin Feng for the rest of his life made his anger boil over. No way. We can't let him come back. Fang Yuan rejoiced inwardly. His goal was achieved. He watched as Liu Tian pulled out his phone, found Zhou Ye's number, and dialed. Fang Yuan raised an eyebrow. It took a long time for the call to connect. Zhou Ye didn't seem to have saved Liu Tian's number and answered with a confused, hello? In an arrogant tone, Liu Tian replied, it's Liu Tian. Zhou Ye's gaze darkened at the name. Why are you calling me? Is Lin Feng with you? Tell him his hard-to-get act worked. My sister is coming to fetch him. Aren't you too thrilled? But don't get cocky. Even if he marries my sister, my mother and I will never accept him. Then his tone shifted to a smug, boastful drawl. Though, if he wants our approval, it's simple. He just has to grovel before us for the rest of his life. Stay out of my sister's business, and back off whenever my sister is with brother Fang Yuan. If he behaves, and stays in his place, we might let him remain in the family. Fang Yuan stared at his antics in disbelief, silently applauding this brilliant, manipulative move. Meanwhile, at the Zhou residence, Zhou Ye gripped his phone, his face red with fury. Right then, a servant came in to report, Sir, Miss Liu is at the door. She says she wants to see you and Mr. Lin. Tell her we aren't here and send her away. Zhou Yi bellowed, thinking of Liu Tian's words. They've got some nerve. The Liu family may be wealthy and powerful, but so what? She didn't treat Xiao Feng like a human, so why the hell would he go back? Sir, it's too late. Miss Liu barged in. A maid rushed in, followed by a cold-faced Liu Ruyan and a bewildered Song Wanru. Zhou Ye immediately put up his guard and sneered at Liu Ruyan. Oh, what brings Miss Liu here? What a rare guest. Where is Xiao Feng? Liu Ruyan demanded coldly. I don't know. You should leave, Miss Liu, Zhou Ye retorted, showing her the door. Kicking her out directly. Liu Ruyan stared at the familiar rosebush in the yard, her gaze deep. Zhou Yi noticed and smirked. So, how does it look? Doesn't this rosebush fit perfectly with our family's estate? He asked, his words dripping with hidden meaning. Roses are so beautiful. Since your family didn't cherish them, someone else gladly will. Don't you agree, Miss Liu? Liu Ruyan's face darkened. Let Lin Feng out. I need to talk to him. If this is about me celebrating Fang Yuan's birthday last night, I can explain, but leaving without a single word and giving me no chance is completely unfair. Zhou Ye scoffed. Oh, now you want to talk? Too bad it's too late. Xiao Feng is gone. Liu Ruyan's eyes widened. Gone? Where? Gone? Where? No idea. I just dropped him off at the airport. He was completely devastated by you and couldn't wait to escape this painful place. He's likely in the air right now. Zhou Ye raised an eyebrow. And even if I did know, I would never tell you. Besides, you never cared for Xiao Feng anyway. Isn't it better that he's gone? Now you can be with Fang Yuan without any guilt and openly give him a title. How perfect. Fang Yuan? Always Fang Yuan. Liu Ruyan's brow furrowed, her voice raspy with irritation. Fang Yuan and I are nothing. I don't even like him. Lin Feng got it all wrong. The fireworks were from Fang Zheng, and I only celebrated his birthday because I owed him. Zhou Ye was stunned. Liu Ruyan didn't like Fang Yuan? That was actually news. Their circle had gossiped endlessly about their epic love story. He really thought her cold heart had finally thawed. Just as Zhou Ye was about to say something, his phone suddenly vibrated. He glanced at the text, his expression instantly freezing over. I don't care what you and Fang Yuan are. Telling me this now changes nothing. Xiao Feng is gone, and it is too late. Miss Liu, I need to rest. If you are done here, please leave. Zhou Ye turned and ordered the servants to show them out. Song Wanru tugged at Liu Ruyan's sleeve, whispering, let's go. Zhou Ye won't talk, but the old master definitely knows where Xiao Feng went. Hearing this, Liu Ruyan's eyes lit up. Right. The old master loved him so much, how could he leave without telling his grandfather? Liu Ruyan took a deep breath, staring at the roses. Zhou Ye, if you reach Lin Feng, tell him that even though the engagement was cancelled, we can still have the wedding if he returns. The wedding is still on. He has full control over the Liu family's shares now, and my efforts helped make that happen. According to our agreement, he is the only one who can ever be the young master of the Liu family. Zhou Yi rolled eyes with his back turned. What's so great about being their son-in-law? It sounds prestigious, but if I had to deal with her toxic parents, I'd rather not have the title. Being free on my own is so much better. Once Liu Ruyan left, Zhao Ye looked up at the stairs. Xiao Feng, she's gone. You can come down now. A few seconds later, I walked down from the second floor. Zhou Ye flashed his phone, displaying the 3-word text I had just sent him. Kick her out. That was why Zhou Ye had been so ruthless in sending her away. Xiao Feng, did you hear what she said? I nodded slowly. Yeah. She claims she doesn't love Fang Yuan, and that last night was just a misunderstanding. What are you thinking now? Zhou Ye asked nervously. He knew I had loved her for over 8 years and worried I might soften. But to his relief, my eyes remained completely cold. She might not love Fang Yuan, but she didn't love me either. And Zhou Ye, I looked up, my voice steady. Even if she did love me, we are over. Since I decided to leave, I am never looking back. It took every ounce of my courage to end things. Why should her simple explanation force me to crawl back and play the fool again? I am a human, not a pet. I refused to be summoned and discarded at her whim. Meanwhile, on the way to the care home, Song Wanru cautiously glanced at the rearview mirror. Liu Ruyan was furiously texting to track my whereabouts, but the results were useless. My trail had been intentionally erased, leaving no trace. A suffocating dark aura radiated from her, her face so cold she looked ready to unleash a violent storm. Miss Liu, why don't you close your eyes? I will wake you when we arrive at the care home. No need, she rasped, rubbing her temples and tossing the phone aside. After a long silence, she spoke, her usually confident voice laced with a raw, unrecognizable hesitation. Wanru, why did Lin Feng leave? Song Wanru stared at the road ahead, keeping silent for a full minute before replying. Miss Liu, Xiao Feng loved you deeply. You know that better than anyone, even as an outsider. Liu Ruyan pursed her lips tightly. She knew it all too well. I never hid my love, laying my entire heart bare before her. That was why she took me for granted, believing I would never leave. She assumed I would always be waiting right behind her. But now, I was gone. I had vanished completely, without even saying goodbye, cutting her out of my life. Is it because of Fang Yuan? But we are nothing like she thinks. Miss Liu, Song Wanru interrupted softly. I might not know why he left so suddenly, but I know how much he loved you. This wasn't caused by a single incident. Disappointment isn't sudden, it builds up over time. Liu Ruyan fell silent. 5 years of disappointment could easily destroy even the deepest love. Sensing the suffocating tension, Song Wanru decided to change the subject. Miss Liu, what was that agreement between you and Fang Yuan about anyway? Song Wanru was deeply curious. When they first got together, it shocked their entire social circle. Everyone in Jiangcheng knew how untouchable Miss Liu was. Having me as her constant shadow had already been a shock. Back then, she absolutely adored me, giving me all the patience and tenderness she had. Everyone assumed I would be the one to tame her. But to their absolute surprise, the one who ended up as her boyfriend was Fang Yuan. Before that, she and Fang Yuan barely even knew each other. In fact, it was her father, Liu Tian, who had been close friends with him all along.